I sold 2,500 lollipops last year. Why am I disappointed? This is a recap of the year 2025 in my designer lollipop company, The Crazy Hedgehog. I have been working on designer sweets for around 6 years now. I started with decorated cookies, then I moved on to different candy, marshmallows, caramels, gummy candy, then to photo cookies, and then finally I ended up with the photo lollipops. All for the reason that these were the first and only product of all these that in our living conditions in Europe I could find as a viable product with actually a potential customer base. I made the pivot to stop everything else and move to photo lollipops in April 2025. I dropped all the clients I had for photo cookies and other candy and went forward just with photo lollipops. The problem with a photo lollipop in my environment in Estonia where I live is that nobody knows what this thing is. And to be honest, at first I didn't know what this thing is. Well, I know what it is visually, I know how it tastes, but I actually had no knowledge of how to sell it, how to position my brand or myself or the lollipop. And that's where the trouble started in April. Firstly, I tried to market myself through Facebook ads. I didn't know how to make photos of the lollipops, and also I didn't know what to say about them. I could say that they're tasty, I could say that they're pretty, but this is not a way to actually sell your product. Then I started telling my previous clients that now I have a new product. Started, if they wanted me to, sending out free sample boxes of lollipops. And this is how I got my first real client. I gave them the box of lollipops, they liked them, they had their own images put in them, and they started ordering 100 lollipops, next month 100 lollipops, 100 lollipops. That's when I understood that this could actually be something that the companies could sell, not just a gift that they could give, for example, to their partners or employees. So I started marketing that way. I reached out to museums and theaters and asked them maybe they would be interested in selling my lollipops at their spaces. I was lucky enough that a few of the museums and theaters said yes. So by the time 2025 ended, I had the Crazy Hedgehog lollipops in sale in 8 museums, 2 theaters and 1 bookshop, most of them returning clients. As I ran out of people I knew or companies I knew to sell to, I started sending out cold emails. I sent an email offering a free sample box of candy and saying that I would put whatever images they want me to put on them so they could see what the product is. What I didn't do in these emails is that I didn't actually position the product itself, what it's for, what it could do for them, how the product could help the companies. Therefore, I only got very few answering emails, and of the boxes I sent out, I got 0 returns. Then finally, I understood that this product that I have made is actually a marketing tool and this visual and edible advertisement for any company. So finally, somewhere in November of 2025, I started putting this message forward to all the companies that I approached. And I stopped sending emails. I just made a box of lollipops and I took these to the companies that I desired to work with. And then I started getting feedback. I started getting positive feedback. I started getting orders. And this was actually a really, really positive input and made me realize that I hadn't been wrong in my thoughts that the lollipop business could thrive and there are customers who are interested in the product. The biggest relief was a 1,000 lollipop order that I got in autumn, and it took me emotionally really high. But I have to say that I knew from the start I wouldn't have that big orders in the future, and therefore the low after getting the order, finalizing the order and realizing I don't have that big orders anymore, it was quite a low. But as the year ended, I had managed to make 2,500 of the lollipops plus a few hundred for marketing purposes and make 4,800 euros out of them. Am I happy? Not so much. So what is my plan for 2026? At the moment, I have decided that the most important thing is focus, that I need to focus on a few things that would bring me forward and help my business and my brand gain visibility. Therefore, the thing that I'm going to do this year, at least this quarter, is just to reach as many companies as possible with the sample boxes and start working on my social media to get more known. So if you think that I could thrive, or if you think that I will definitely fail, I'm planning to have monthly overviews of how my business is going, what I managed to do, what I didn't manage to do. So feel free to check in if I'm already out of business, or if at some point I actually manage to earn as much as I need to get by and live and maybe even thrive in my business. Thanks for being here. Hopefully see you soon. Bye.